Hey guys, Gary here from Triage. Today what I'm going to be doing is a couple of hamstring exercises. So when it comes to training at home, especially when you have no equipment, the hamstrings are probably the muscle group that are one of the more difficult ones to train, okay? Because a lot of the exercises that we do often involve either specialized equipment such as a leg curl machine or a lot of load, so something like a deadlift variation. So especially if you are quite strong, it can be difficult to find ways to train at home. So what I'm going to give you here are two different variations that you can vary depending on your current level of strength. So basically what we're going to be doing here, this is the first kind of basic version of this variation. You want to get your back somewhere where it's not going to be slipping around, okay? I'm going to have my feet straight out in front of me, in my socks, that's important. On a wooden floor preferably, or a tiled floor, or if you do have sliders, sometimes you can get sliders that basically reduce the friction of whatever surface you happen to be on. You could also put a blanket or something like that underneath you, or anything that's going to reduce the friction. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start lying back flat on my back. To set yourself up, the easiest way to do this is to get into a kind of a glute bridge position. I'm going to put my hands on my hips, okay, just for a bit of support. You're kind of feeling your positioning. Let the legs straighten out and curl them back in. And back out and back in. So that's the full variation of that exercise. The key thing there being that you're actually performing the concentric or the shortening phase and the eccentric or the lengthening phase. So I'm taking load both when we're going out and when we're coming in. So the function of the hamstrings is to flex the knee, so bend my knee and extend my hip. So when the hip is more extended, the hamstrings are working more then as well, okay? So what you're going to find is that with both of those functions kind of combined with the hip being extended and the knee flexing at the same time, you might get a little bit of a cramping sensation. So just take your time with that, and if it is a bit too much, start with this next variation. So the next variation is for people who are not able to perform the full concentric. So you're not able to pull yourself all the way in, and that's totally fine because it is quite a challenging exercise. So if you're not able to perform that part of it, or maybe the friction is too much on the floor, what you can do is bridge up at the start and just take it really slowly on that portion of the rep. So you're just performing the negative or the lengthening phase or the eccentric phase. Then bring your feet back in and take it nice and slowly again. Putting force down through the floor. I'm constantly thinking about pulling my heels back into me and keeping that tension on while still allowing myself to fall down. So it's a really nice one for hamstring rehab as well, and what you can do as well is to make it a unilateral exercise, just one leg. Okay guys, so a few different variations there. As I said, preferably try and find some sort of flooring where there's not a lot of friction. You can reduce that, such as by wearing socks, or you don't want to do it in your shoes. And yeah, that's a nice variation for when you are in the home.